Morning.
How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see everyone. Anyone doing any hosting right now with Zoom? Anyone's or just getting started? Okay. We'll get started in a moment here. All right, and Michael, I'll make you a co-host. Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
are
am a
co-host.
host.
Okay. All righty. Give it a few more seconds here for some people to come in, and then we'll get started today on our scheduling and hosting Zoom classes. Some other people come in. Have everyone taken the beginners class for Zoom? Good.
Yes.
All right, then. Well, why don't we get started? Because we do have a lot to cover today. Today's class, we're going to be covering hosting and scheduling Zoom sessions. This is the second class in the series of the Zoom classes. My name is Donna. I'm your guide today. I was in the IT industry for over 30 years. I enjoy helping people get over their fears of technology. And we are Get Set Up. We're seniors teaching seniors about technology. We have social hours and all kinds of programming for you to enjoy. This session is being recorded. If you wish to get a copy of the recording, you can do so by emailing help@getsetup.io. And we have Michael here today. He's helping out in the chat box. If you want to ask any questions, feel free, of course, to do that. We are not paid to promote Zoom in any way. This is strictly for our educational purposes. I'm going to stop. I'm going to close out the waiting room here. All right. All righty. So our agenda, we're going to learn about how to schedule and host Zoom sessions, how to invite people into the meeting, how all of that works. And we're going to talk more about sharing out your screen or other content that you have in your meeting. And I just asked earlier if anyone is currently hosting anything. Sounds like a fairly new crowd. No one is hosting any specific Zoom sessions. Any family sessions? Anyone do any Zoom with their family?
Hi, this is Mildred. I tried. I did something Sunday.
Yeah.
I didn't understand all of it. It was a little different from the meetings that I connect with.
Right.
I was telling myself it looked like I came through the back door, and I don't know how I got there, but it was there, and it was my first time. And
right.
They were calling and saying that they didn't receive an invite with
the
link. So
right, the link. The link is the important one.
I just didn't know. Then I went back and I changed a few things. I noticed that the participant wasn't checked.
Oh, yeah.
So I did that. Then one did receive it. So I spoke to a couple of people, but
yeah. So you learn by fire.
That's right. But I want them to see it like, I guess like everybody else sees it.
Right.
It was a little different. Even for me, I was saying, well, I don't know how it happened.
Yeah, it's a little different getting on the hosting side of the fence.
I see.
When we are just clicking on a link and joining Zoom sessions, you don't think too much about it. You just click on that link and you go in. And Zoom lets you do that. You don't have to have an account or anything. It may make it real easy. But if you want to host a session, you are going to have an account. So one of the first things to do is go to zoom.us.
Okay, but the basic wouldn't allow you to be a host and open.
Yeah, the free account. Yeah, the free account lets you. Yeah.
Okay.
So you go to zoom.us, you go under plans and pricing, and you look at the type of plans they have. They have a free plan. It's on the left side here. Yeah. It's the personal free plan. You can host up to 100 people. Group meetings are up to 40 minutes. They have a cutoff point. And then if it's just you and one other person, you have unlimited time.
Yes.
Now, let's say you are well, maybe you have a business on the web, you're a life coach or a counselor or a teacher. You might want to think of that pro plan just so you can get rid of the 40-minute limit on your meetings. But for having fun with your friends and family, the free one is fine. Anyone have any questions about that? You do need to get this account before you can host and schedule meetings in Zoom. All righty. So let's talk about, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. We're going to approach this like 3 tiers or like 3 rungs on a ladder. The first one, we're going to talk about just starting an instant meeting, nothing fancy, with friends and family. How would you do that? The quickest way just to do it. And then the second rung, we're going to talk about maybe you are on the internet, you have some type of business and you're talking to a client. How would you instantly meet with, say, someone you don't know that well? And then the last rung is the biggest one. How do you schedule these meetings inside of Zoom? And also, all 3 rungs we'll be talking about inviting people. But the third rung, we'll talk about actually scheduling these meetings. And maybe you volunteer for an organization or a business, and you can put them on a schedule too. So we're going to cover all those bases. So let's start first with friends and family. Okay, you're going to meet with friends and family. Zoom has this thing called a personal room. I'm going to go into my Zoom account. On the left side of the screen, there's a menu. You'll see this is where settings are. This is an important thing to know about the settings. If you're ever looking for some setting changes, you'll find them in here. I'm going to click on meetings. And here's personal room. All personal room is a special meeting ID for you. It's yours. It belongs to your account. This meeting ID number and the link is unique to your account. You can use it anytime. It's available anytime. Great for meeting with friends and family. You can send this link to them. And now they have it. They know. When you say, let's go meet in Zoom, they already know what the link is. Because it never changes, don't post it on social media. Because if you have someone who abuses the link, some stranger, then you're probably going to have to talk to Zoom. Maybe they can fix it for you, or they might have to start a whole new account for you. So keep it with friends and family, people close to you. You can see here, you can put on a calendar if you want to. You can get as fancy as you want to do here. There's an edit button. You can edit the settings. The default setting is a waiting room. That's the lowest rung of security. The waiting room, you come into waiting rooms for our meetings where it says waiting for host to let you in. And it's just, it's a nice little gate to have everyone stop at. So you can actually see as a host, you can look and see who's in the waiting room. And if it's a name you don't recognize, remove them. So you can do that as for security reasons. When you are a host and you have a waiting room, you're going to get a little pop-up saying the name of the person is in the waiting room. And you can go look. The way to look at the waiting room is you're going to click on your participants icon on your toolbar. You click on participants and you will see the waiting room right above the participant list. And there'll be red admit buttons to click on to let people in. And there's an admit all. You can let everyone in. So the personal room, again, unique number for your account. You can start it. There's a blue start button here on towards the left side on the bottom. There's a start button. You can start it right here if you wanted to. You can copy the invite. When I click on copy the invite, this pops up. This is the information about the meeting. Got your link. You have a meeting ID. Now, I'm on a licensed account for Zoom, so I have phone numbers. If you're on a free account, you're not going to have phone numbers. So that's something to think about too. If you're going to be on the internet and you have a business and you want people to be able to access your webinars or seminars, whatever you're teaching, even if they don't have internet connection, they can still get in through their phone. Or you want to give people the option that say, Windows update. and then nothing works. So they come try to get into your meeting. They realize audio doesn't work anymore. So they can at least get on the phone. You'll want to think of at least a pro account so you get these phone numbers for people to dial in. But on the free account, you don't have those. So we're looking at this meeting invite. I'm going to click on the copy meeting invitation, this blue button. If I click on it, copies it to clipboard. And all that means is it goes to this reserved memory space on your device. It's waiting for you to paste it somewhere. So you're going to paste it to an email. Maybe you have a group email for your friends and family. You could paste it in the email and say, hey, this is my Zoom. I have a new Zoom account. Here's the link. When we get together, this is what we'll use. Or maybe you have a text. Maybe all your family are all texters. You have a group text. You could put it into this text. And by pasting, what I mean, I'm just going to quickly open up Notepad. It's waiting for, I'm on a Windows machine, a Control V. A Control V is in victory. On my keyboard, I just do Control V, and there's the information. I pasted it. That's what that means when I say paste. If you're on a phone, of course, paste means you're going to put your finger down where you want it to go in the email or in the text. And then there's going to be a little bubble that comes up that says paste. And then you can paste it. So quick way to get this information out to family and friends. You might find you might start meeting a lot with some of your friends. And once they have this information, you could be on the phone talking to someone and saying, hey, let's get together on Zoom tonight at 5. 5 o'clock comes along. Maybe they already have your link. If they don't, you can email it to them or text it to them. 5 o'clock comes along and you can just start the meeting. Wait for them to come in. You don't even have to schedule it. What we're talking about right now is just an instant meeting with your family and friends. You're not going to schedule it or anything. You're just going to have it. Maybe you're talking with your family through email. Maybe you have an email thread going and people say, hey, let's have a game night this Saturday night at 7. And you say, hey, we'll use my Zoom link. Here's my Zoom link. We'll do that 7 o'clock on Saturday. 7 o'clock on Saturday comes, you start the meeting, and you wait for your friends and family to come in. Questions so far, anyone? We're going to talk about how to start that meeting next. All right. When it comes time to start the meeting with your friends, family, if you're on a laptop, let's talk about laptops. You could log in to your, the website here on Zoom, or just like I am right now, and I can click Start, and that puts me right into the personal room. And what I mean by that is it puts you right into a Zoom session. Pretend that you just did that. It would be exactly what you're doing right now with all of us gone. It will be just you and Zoom. You'll just be looking right at yourself. That's what I mean when going into the Zoom session. You're just going to start it and you're just going to be on camera. You're going to be sitting there waiting for people to come in. So another way to do this on a laptop, laptops do have a desktop client. In the lower left-hand corner of my screen, I click on my Start button. I'm going to scroll all the way down to Z for Zoom. And there's a little Zoom right here. I click on it. And I have a little desktop app. And I can do it from there. Now, let me show you what this looks like. This is what the desktop app looks like on a laptop or desktop. Very similar to an iPad app, if you have iPads. This home chat meetings and contacts is on the left side. That's pretty much the same thing. And then, of course, you have your mobile app on your phone. So let's say we're going to start the meeting on our phone or something, or some type of mobile app. You're going to look where it says New Meeting. You're going to look for a little down arrow next to it. If there is a down arrow, you'll click on it. If there isn't, you'll just click on New Meeting. and you're going to be presented with this opportunity to check, use my personal meeting ID. If you check this, you'll end up in your meeting room. And I know some people, this is the first mistake you make, is you don't check this and you just go right in and you have started a new Zoom session. So you're all by yourself. Your friends and family are in your waiting room for your personal meeting. That happened to you, Mildred. Huh? I see her shaking her head. They're sitting there waiting, go, what happened? Where are you? So make sure you click on use personal meeting ID. If you're on a phone, this is my phone app. Same thing. I clicked on new meeting. I get to this screen, use personal meeting ID. I slide this over, turn it green, get it on, and then you can start your meeting. Then you'll be in the personal meeting room. That's the little trick when you're just doing an instant meeting like that. Anyone have any questions? Just make sure if you're going to your personal meeting room that you read the screen before you start the meeting. Make sure that you have turned that on so you will end up in the proper meeting so you can meet your friends and family there. Questions about that, anyone? All right. That's the one little trip up right there. All righty. So now let's say we're going to move up the, we've talked about meeting with friends and family instantly, instant meeting, using the personal room. Now let's say you are on the web. Maybe you do website design design or maybe you're a therapist or a teacher. You have some type of business on the web, or it could be both offline and online. And let's say you're talking to one of your clients, and then you say to them, you know what, I need to show you my project plan. Let's get on Zoom right now so I can show you what the project plan looks like for the project. And you tell them, I'll send you a link. And then you hang up. So now you have to send them the link, but you don't know this person very well. You don't feel really comfortable giving them your personal room link because, that's permanent. That's, you have that that's part of your account. So what you can do is you can open a random meeting, a randomly generated number. It's going to be different than your personal room. It's not going to be this number. It's going to be something else. So the way to start that meeting, because you just got off the phone and you told that person, I'm going to send you a link. The way you start it, if you are logged in, if you're on a laptop and you happen to be logged into Zoom, you can come over here to the upper right-hand corner of your screen. If our pictures are in the way, you might have to move them a little bit. There's host a meeting. So you're just going to click on host a meeting with video on and off. Doesn't matter. You could probably be turning on your video. When you click on this, what happens is you launch a Zoom session. And you're just going to be staring at yourself in Zoom. That's what's going to happen. Zoom's just going to open up and you're just going to be looking at yourself. If you have an app, the other way you're going to get in, again, you're just going to click on new meeting. You're not going to check personal meeting ID. You leave that blank because you want a random number. You don't want your personal. You just click on new meeting. If you're on a phone, same thing. You're going to click on that new meeting. Leave this alone, the use personal ID. Don't turn it on. Just click start meeting. So now it will be a random number. So you just launched this Zoom session. And what's the link you're going to send them? So let's talk about that. I'm going to stop sharing. So you need to find a link. You've just opened this random session. So you need to find the link to it so you can send it to your client so you can show them the project plan. Now, if you're on a laptop or desktop, go to the upper left-hand corner of your screen where you see a shield. It might be gold. It could be green. Click on that. And you will see the meeting information. If you see a circle to the left of the shield, click on the circle. If you're on a mobile device, look in the upper middle part of your screen. You're going to see a Zoom button. Click on that Zoom button, and you should find the meeting information. You'll see this meeting ID. You'll see the link. You'll see copy link. There it is, copy link. So you click on copy link, and then you're going to paste it. So either, how do you talk to this client? Do you talk to them through email, or do you talk to them do you text them? Whatever device you're on, or how, whatever way you communicate, then you will send that link. You're going to paste that link into an email or a text, and then send it off, and then wait for them to come click on the link and join. Anyone not find the meeting information? Did everyone find it?
I didn't. Gloria didn't find it.
Gloria, what kind of device do you have?
I have a laptop.
And in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, did you see, you might have to move your mouse because our, Zoom falls asleep.
Oh, I see Zoom meeting at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the very top. It's like you have a gold shield or a green shield. It's in the very, very upper, way up in the left-hand corner. Yeah. You click on
Mine
that.
has like a video, a blue video. The gold shield, the orange shield, I see is what you're doing right now, but I just go to the Zoom meeting at the top left.
Yeah, top left. And if you click on it, do you see the meeting information? You should see the ID, my name's there, and it's showing you the information for this meeting that we're in right now.
Got it.
But you can see it. And you see the copy, the link. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I still don't see it.
And Eva, what kind of device are you on?
I'm on a laptop.
Laptop in upper left-hand corner. Drag your mouse up to the left. And you see a shield. It's it might be mine today. Mine's kind of an orangey color. Sometimes it's green. Could be green, could be orangey. Do you see it, Eva?
No.
Okay.
On mine, the live is sort of moving back and forth. So if you move your mouse over there, the shield will show up.
Okay, there you go. Try that, Eva. Thank you, Regina.
Oh, okay.
So it's moving around on you?
Mine is on your speaker screen. That's where it is.
Oh, okay. There's another place too, by the way, and you should have learned this in the beginner's class, where if you go under the participant screen, if you click on your participant button, in the lower left-hand corner of that box, there's an invite. That's another second area where you could get the information if you want to. Especially if you want to do more than just a link. If you want to give the person, say you have a licensed account, you want to give phone numbers, then you could do the invite, which is under the participants area. And that includes copying the entire invitation if you want to do that. So you have those options. All right, so that's meeting with a stranger. The nice thing is, you start talking to this person, and what if you think to yourself, oh my Lord, this person's nuts. You will be happy when you're done meeting with them that you didn't give them your personal room number there. You'll be like, oh, thank God. Because, the thing is, when you start one of these randomly generated meetings, as soon as you hang up on the meeting, it's gone. It's like it never happened. That number's gone. No one else can use it again. It's just done. So that's a nice way to meet with a stranger, someone you don't know that well. You don't want to sit there worrying, oh God, this person might, what if they start clicking on the link again, when I'm having my family game night or something, You don't have to worry about it. You can sleep at ease. So any questions about that? All right, now let's talk about the big one. Let's schedule. We talked about more informal, which you can do with your family and friends. Sometimes it's just a word of mouth with family and friends as far as getting together. But let's say we're going to schedule this in Zoom. So I'm going to go back into Zoom, and we're going to schedule a meeting in Zoom. Go back to my account here. Towards the right side of the screen, you'll see a schedule a meeting button here. There's a link. I'm going to click on this. If you're in an app, when you open up your app on your device, whether it be an iPad or tablet or phone, you just click on your schedule a meeting button, schedule. Just to show you real quick here. Just the schedule button. That's what you would click on your app. Whatever app you're using, you'll have a schedule button. The form here on the web is identical to the one in the mobile devices on your phone and everything. It's the same form, just that it's much smaller than on the web. So let's create a meeting. Let's say we're going to have the book club is going to meet. So this is going to be book club. You could put a description in. We have this certain book read before we meet, or we're reading such and such book. You can go ahead and put that there. When is the meeting happening? Well, they always show you today's date. You can click on the calendar. You can move it to the, can you believe it's already going to be April? You can go and click on whenever out in the future you need the meeting to be. I'm gonna make it for today. Time, you can select a time here. I'm gonna make it, let's say 7 o'clock tonight. Duration, it's probably going to be a 2-hour meeting talking about the book. Now, if you're on a free account, just be aware that after 40 minutes, you're probably going to get cut off. Sometimes Zoom's in a good mood and they give you free time. Sometimes they don't. Just let the people you know in the meeting ahead of time that if we get cut off at the 40-minute time, just tell them to go back to the link I sent you and click on it again, because you're just going to go and start the meeting again. So here's the duration. This is what the expectation of the meeting is going to be. This is how long it is going to, you expect it to be. If you are on a paid account, let's say you go 3 hours, Zoom's not going to cut you off on a pro account or a paid account. Time zone. This is go ahead. Yeah.
If you're on the 40-minute and it goes off, are you to create a new Zoom meeting, or will that ID, that URL be workable for the same for the additional?
Yeah, it'll be workable because it'll be workable for at least 2 hours, because that's what we determined the meeting to be. Okay. And you just go right back to the link for the meeting and you just start it again as a host. Just click on that same one.
I'm sorry, does that work for both a personal and a random number? Random personal ID?
If you schedule it, yes. Yes, even the random, yes. All right. So we've got the duration. Time zone is very important, especially if you're going to be putting it on a calendar. You have to make sure it's your time zone, so you have your times right.
Your zone time only. What about the people out in the West Coast? How would you tell them, unless you just email them separately and say my time?
Well, it's going to say the time is in Pacific time. The time will be called that, so they'll get to see it. But if they're putting it on their own calendar and everything, it should be their time zone.
Okay.
That should show up on their time zone.
I
know people get confused. Yeah.
They do.
And you might want to make a little note, especially if you're going to send out an invite, say that's probably a good time to just make a note to people if you think they're going to be confused that this is, we're talking, this time.
Yeah, Eastern.
So they don't look at it, because I know we all make that mistake. We look at the time and you're thinking your own time zone. You're not reading it.
We call someone and they say, "Oh, I'm still at work." So, well,
yeah, I know. It's always confusing with the time zones.
Okay.
Recurring meeting. I'm going to come back to that one in a second. I'm just going to show you the form. Registration. This is for paid accounts. So this is where people would register prior to a session that you're doing. Meeting ID. Now this is a big decision here. You're going to generate a random number, or are you going to do your personal meeting room? You could be, maybe you're setting this up in Zoom. If you do a lot of personal meetings, it's good to just start scheduling them so you can keep track of them yourself. So it could be either personal or generate it automatically. I'm going to do generate it automatically so you can see what this looks like, because we've already talked about the personal room. Security, you can have a password. If I click on password, I can go and type in any type of password I want here. It does add a level of difficulty for getting into the meeting though. So if you're meeting with friends and family, and you have some people that in your family that, let's say, are technically challenged, you can, yeah, we all have them. Having a password might be too much. I would say start with clicking on the link. Let's see how far you get with that first before you start adding passwords, just to get people over that learning curve. Waiting room, you have to have at least one or the other or both. So you can pick what you want. The waiting room is the easiest for the users. And this required authentication to join, works better for licensed accounts, because then everyone coming into the meeting has to have the same email address. Let's say you all work at Microsoft.com. All the email addresses would say, so-and-so at Microsoft.com. So everyone would have their appropriate email from Microsoft. If you have a free account, what this does is it makes everyone who joins your meeting has to have a Zoom account and be logged in. So it kind of complicates things, I think, for the free accounts, but that's what that does. Video and audio. What you're setting here is what's the status of these when people enter the meeting. So for instance, video. The host comes into the meeting, the video's on. The participant comes into the meeting, their video's off, they're going to have to turn it on. It depends on who you're meeting with. If it's small kids, you're a teacher and you want to make sure everyone's on camera, you could have this set to on. If you work with a disabled population and maybe it's hard to be clicking on all these buttons, then you could maybe have it on. It really just depends on who you're working with. Just know that when you're a host in Zoom, you can shut off people's audio and video, but you can't turn it on. So keep that in mind. Audio, same thing. If you have a free account, you don't have a choice here. Paid accounts, you have the choice where you could choose that maybe you don't want people dialing in and talking on the phone. You just want everyone on their computer. You could click on this and make it that type of meeting. Although I wouldn't recommend that because, sometimes people can sign on to your meeting okay on their laptop, but they can't get the audio to work for whatever reason, and at least they can phone in to listen. But that's up to you. And, again, it depends on the type of meeting you have, whether or not you want to allow people to use their phones to dial in. And then to be honest, if you're just using Zoom for friends and family, the rest of these options you don't need to think about. But we're going to go through them real quick, just in case someone in the meeting does need them. The first one is allow participants to join anytime. Now, this means joining the meeting before the host. Okay, that's what this means. You can't have a waiting room set on these type of meetings. These meetings would be a password type of meeting where you have a password. Mute participants upon entry. If you have 200 people coming in, you're probably going to mute everyone because it's going to be really noisy, all those people coming into the meeting. Or if you're a teacher, maybe you want the kids muted when they come in. Breakout rooms pre-assigned. This only shows up if you have breakout rooms turned on in your account. Under settings, you can turn them on, and then you can pre-assign them here. Automatically record meeting in the cloud. If you work for an organization that requires recordings of all your sessions and you can't remember to push the record button, you can set it here so that the minute that meeting starts, it starts recording. And the cloud, that's storage that Zoom gives paid accounts to store their video files. You don't get that when you have a free account. You don't get these cloud storage. So when you have a free account, when you stop recording, when you hit that stop record button, They will ask you where you want to save the files. You can save them locally. You can save them to the cloud. You can save them, like, for instance, to Google Drive, Dropbox, iDrive, iCloud, whatever you use on your device. And then approve or block entry for users from specific countries. What this is great for government accounts. Oh my. You can block different countries from coming into your meeting. So you can come in here and select different countries and block them. And then the last one, alternative hosts. This is only for paid accounts in larger organizations. Like, for instance, though I'm creating this meeting right now, and Zoom assumes that I'm going to host it. But in large companies, they usually have an admin create the meetings, right? They create the meetings for everyone in the company. So the admin at this point for alternative hosts, they would put in the email address of the person who's actually going to host the meeting. That's what that would be for. And when you click save, it will save the meeting. Any questions anyone has?
What about this approve, where you mentioned about the approve letting somebody from a different country, and if you don't want it, you just want people from the United States, you click that and then just highlight United States?
Yeah, you can do that if you want to, yeah.
Okay.
If you mute people or set it to have the audio on or off or whatever, do people still have the option of changing that when they come in?
Well, yeah, they can turn their audio on. If you want people completely muted, then you could, when you're a host, you have a security button. You can click on that security button and you can uncheck the ability to unmute yourselves. So you could stop people from unmuting themselves. This way it'll stay quiet the whole time. You can permanently set that also in the settings for your account. If you want all your meetings to have everyone muted all the time, you can do that too.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi, a quick question. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I came a little late. First of all, will I be able to, if I contact Get Set Up, will they be able to give me a recording of this, since I came late and I missed
Oh yeah,
a lot?
yeah, just email them, yeah.
And it'll have your screens and everything.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, you'll see
and
that.
then just the main question. So this is kind of more being specific about things you want or don't want. But did you already go through how to even set up to host a meeting? Like, that's a different screen, right?
Yeah, we talk. Yeah, when you go watch the recording, you'll see we'll take you through the whole thing. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
All righty. So I'm going to go back to the recurring part, because let's say the book club wants them, we want to meet weekly, right? We want to have this maybe a weekly meeting. So I'm going to go up here where it says recurring. I'm going to click on it, and it's going to open up some options for recurring. So I can come in here. My recurrence options are daily, weekly, monthly, no fixed time. I could make this a no fixed time. So you could meet anytime. Yeah, anytime you want to. It's just kind of like the personal room, but we're creating a randomly generated number. So if you wanted to create something like your personal room, let's say you meet with a lot of clients and you just want to have a random number, this is how you would create that. And this way, if you do have someone that's weird, then you can just delete this meeting and create another one with a different number. I'm going to make this a weekly. You can have it repeat every week, every other week, every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, whichever reoccurrence you want. I'm going to do once a week. You can pick which days of the week you want to meet. You could meet more than one day a week if you wanted to. End date. Click on the little calendar to the right of this box, and you will see that you can bring your end date out. I think they'll let you go a year, almost a year out. You can go. Or maybe you want it to end after, 6 or up to 20. So let's say you want to meet 10 times or 5 times. You can set that also over here. And when you've set recurring meetings in Zoom, the link is good for 1 year after the last time you started the meeting. So these links can last a long time. Any questions about the scheduling the meeting? All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the save button. That's going to create the meeting. It's created. Here's my new meeting ID. It's a 928 number. I've got a new link. If I go to the left side of the screen and click on meetings, I can go to my upcoming meetings and I can see it right here, book club. This is what we just created. I can start it, I can edit it, and I can delete it right here. I also have a start button, when I open it up. There's a start button to the right side of the screen, far right side of the screen. There's a blue start this meeting. Our pictures might be covering it. To the right of the invite link, all the way to the margin, there's a copy invitation button. Again, you can see all the details about the meeting. I set this really way out. To 2022, so it shows all the occurrences. You will find the link here, the meeting ID. Again, if you have a paid account, you'll see the phone numbers. You can, at the lower right-hand corner of the box, you can see a blue copy meeting invitation button. Click on that. That copies everything to clipboard. You can paste it into a group email or a group text that you have for your book club. However you talk with your book club, you can send that out. You might notice in Zoom never does the actual inviting. Zoom does not invite the people. You're either going to invite them over the phone, through email, through text, or through an invite on a calendar.
A quick question. So I didn't quite understand about so when it says copy the meeting invite details, so you said you paste it on a whiteboard? Do you, can it just be a regular copy? Can you go from there and just email someone and send it to them?
Yeah, you paste it. You paste it into your email or text if you're doing text. Depends on who you're, conversing with.
Oh, great. So there's not a middle thing. You don't have to paste it somewhere else.
No. You would just click on the copy. So it's blue. It'll copy it, right. And then you paste it over to however you are conversing with these people, through email, through text. You would paste it in that appropriate area. All right. Now, some of you may have noticed there's calendars here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, let me first go down to the bottom. At the bottom, you'll see that there's another start button here, a blue start button where you can start the meeting right from here. There's an edit if you want to go back and make changes, a delete, and you can save it as a template. If you're making all types of different types of meetings, you could save it as a template.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Huh?
Regarding the meetings that are 40 minutes, does Zoom automatically cancels you out, or?
It will still be alive. Like let's say you have a meeting. Since this is recurring, it doesn't matter. You just go and start the link again. If it was a one-time meeting, one-time meetings are only good during the time that you set for the meeting. So if you set
yes, but I'm talking like on the unpaid accounts.
Yeah, the unpaid amount, same thing. Yeah, they'll work.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Just if it's a one-time meeting, you have to be careful because one-time meetings are done. If it's a 3-hour meeting and it was only meeting one time, that link will be gone after that, after those 3 hours.
A quick question. So you're suggesting, let's say I have a free account and I have a meeting with friends and it's probably going to go longer than the 40 minutes I'm allowed. So do I need to make it a recurring meeting? And that way, when the 40-minute ends, they can click on the link again and come back in, or no matter what, they can always.
Oh, if it's a one-time meeting, let's say the duration of the meeting, you make it for like 4 hours. and then you get knocked out after 40 minutes, then that link's still going to be good for 4 hours.
Oh, even if I have a free account?
Yeah, you can still have that time to go back
Oh.
and go back in.
Oh, okay.
But after the 4 hours, it's a done deal. It's done.
Okay, so
Unless you make a recurring. If you make it a recurring type meeting, then that's going to be good for until the recurrence ends, which is a long time.
great. And is there
Jason.
any reason not to make it recurring? I mean, of course, if I explain to the people that, we're not going to have it every week, but I created.
Yeah, you could set it up recurring and then just say people, well, if you have some type of system where you can notify each other and say, we're not meeting this week. You just have to make it clear.
Oh, I see. Otherwise, it's going to go into calendars. Okay, so let's
Yeah,
say if I
because people might put it into calendars and
don't-
stuff.
So let's say if I don't want to do recurring, but I still I have a free account after the 40 minutes, after it ends, can people, do I have to designate that I want it longer than the 40 minutes? Otherwise, there's no way people can get back in.
Right. Yeah. Allow yourself some time to get back into that meeting. If you're on a free account, just make it set. If it's a one-time meeting, give yourself
Yes.
time. If you're all blabbers in the meeting and you're going to be talking forever, then make it a little bit longer meeting. So you have the time.
Okay, and again, that's an earlier screen where I write down the time it'll start and the time.
Right.
it'll end.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks
Yeah.
so much.
I'm in a recurring meeting, but there are some days that have been skipped. And when I got the invite, it specifically showed, yes, we're meeting this week, and this week, but, then there were, so how would you set that up as part of the invite?
That's probably done in the calendar.
Okay.
That's probably in the calendar system that's doing that, where you can skip things and, well, you can. When I did the recurring, you had the capability of saying it's bi-weekly, or, you can do that type of thing too. It's every other week, every third week.
Right. It's
So
a
you
weekly
can set
meeting,
that
but
up.
like we're not meeting on Easter and we're not eating,
Right.
other Mother's Day, whatever. So.
Yeah, I think that's where having the calendar is good, because you could go in calendars, you can delete or cancel certain just instances of the meeting, not the whole thing. That would be from the calendar side. Yeah. All right. So
you were saying, I'm sorry, you're saying that in the free account, you could set the time for more than 40 minutes?
no, you're not setting the time for more than 40 minutes, just that you're setting the time for how long the meeting is expected to last. How long does the meeting stay alive? Because the meeting has to be alive for you to get back in.
Okay.
Like you don't want to set, for instance, you don't want to set a meeting for 40 minutes on a 40-minute account, because then you're going to get knocked out after 40 minutes and you can't go back in. Right. You want to make sure that meeting is set for 2 hours or whatever, how long you think it's going to be.
Okay.
Give yourself some time so you can get back in and out.
Got you.
If you're going to be jumping in and out a lot,
Okay, thank you.
All right. You may have noticed there's Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, Yahoo Calendar. Well, there's a lot of other calendar systems out there than just these three. If maybe you work for an organization, they use a different calendar. All you have to do is create the calendar event like you normally would do in the calendar system. When it comes time where you need the information, the meeting information, you just come to Zoom, click on the far right side of the screen here. There's a copy invite button. Copy the information and go and paste it into your invite that you just created. That's how you would get around different calendars. I'm going to go into Google Calendar just so you see an example of putting this on a calendar. Go into Google. All right, here's Google Calendar. We have an excellent Google Calendar class. If you're interested in learning all the ins and outs of Google Calendar, that's be a good class to take. Here's my book club. It's meeting tonight, 7 to 9. It's weekly on Wednesdays. I have it way out until 2022. This is the Zoom link right here. Under the Google Meet link, there's the Zoom link. There's a notification 10 minutes before the meeting. I get a little ping on my phone. I might get a little ping on my laptop, whatever device you're using. I can add, let's say I want to add an email. Maybe one day before. Just a reminder. I could do a reminder. So you can set whatever notifications you need for your meeting. In the lower left-hand corner, this is the invite. This is the meeting information. I can click in here and I can edit. I can say, hi, this is our book club. We're reading such and such a book, blah, blah, blah. You can put all your information in that you need. You can change some of the, the wording here if you want to. It's entirely editable here. So you can change it out once you have your the invite the way you want it to look. Now it's time to invite people. So in the middle of the screen, you'll see guests. If I click on add guest, whatever Google account you're logged into, because this is Google Calendar, the account you're logged into, that's the account that you're going to see here. So I can start adding people if they're in that account. I can put any email address on this line. I can type in if they have Yahoo accounts or whatever accounts they have. You can type in any of the email addresses here. They will all get added to the list. Once you have your list made, when you hit the save button in the upper middle of the screen, there's that blue save button. Once you hit the save button, it puts the this invite on your calendar. It's going to go on your Gmail or Google Calendar, I should say. And then it's going to send out an invite to everyone that's on the list. They'll get an email. It says, you are invited to the book club meeting. Are you going to attend? Yes, no, maybe. Maybe they use calendars. Maybe they don't. You don't know on the other side what goes on. When you're dealing with family and friends or, just kind of a mixed group of people, some use calendars, some may not. If you're in an organization, most likely everyone uses the same calendar. But the important thing is it's going to be on your calendar. So you can organize your own social calendar that way. So if you start doing a lot of Zoom meetings with different friends here and there, you can have that all on a calendar.
So I
Uh-huh.
assume this is coming, so the email is coming from the account, the email you have associated with your Google account.
Right, yeah. Well, this is Google Calendar. You could have used Yahoo Calendar, any calendar, whatever calendar system you like to use, you can use. So I'm going to click on the save so I can put it on my calendar so you can see what this looks like. There it is. 7 o'clock tonight, book club. So now when the time comes for the meeting, now that's on my calendar, it's so easy because it's going to pop up on my phone. It's going to pop up on my laptop. All I have to do is click on it, click on the link and join. That's all I have to do when it comes time. If you are on a phone or any type of mobile device, the minute you open up your Zoom app, you're going to see that meeting that's going to be coming up. It should be here, and you can hit start and start it right there. There'll be a little start button once you have something in the queue. So it makes it nice to organize yourself if you have it on a calendar. You don't have to think too much about it. You can just click on the link and get right in. Anyone have any questions about that?
You mentioned that when you get the free account, that when you get the address, that it won't have as many numbers. What would show up when you have a free account and you're trying to cut and paste for invite? Just one.
Oh, it's going to, when the free account is going to have, I should never have made that all the way up to 2020. On the free account, you'll see the link and you'll see the meeting ID.
Okay.
And all this dial by location, this stuff won't be there.
Okay.
Because you don't get those phone numbers with the free account. So it'll be a much shorter invite.
Thank you.
And you can reword things if you want, if you think it might be confusing for some of the people you're sending. And, if it's too Zoomy, the Zoom talk, you could reword it to make it easier for people to understand or add in, wording to, who you're sending this to. So you might want to tailor it if you want to make it easier for them to understand. Put things in bold that says, click on this link, something like that.
Baby steps.
you know, whatever you have to do to get it to
works. That's right.
whatever works, right? Whatever works. All right. Any other questions about that?
Yes, this is Anita. I have a quick question because I'm supposed to be in another meeting at 12. But I noticed that some invitations to Zoom, they send you a link, and then others you just get a meeting ID and a password, and you just click into the Zoom app. Does that depend on how you set up the meeting?
Yeah, it's how they're sending out the information.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about because you see this. I have the join a meeting link in the upper right-hand corner. This is what she's talking about, where you just put in the meeting ID and then you just join. Some people, I know my sister does this on her phone. She just hits join a meeting and all she wants is the meeting, this meeting ID right here.
Mm-hmm.
And she just types it in. She doesn't do any links.
Right.
I don't know if she doesn't know how to do links on a phone or what the deal is. But she just wants the ID and I'm okay. Well, whatever. If you want to type it in, that's good. I mean,
Sure. Okay.
so, and that might be why they may not realize, they may be just looking at the ID and not realizing that the link is there too for people to click on.
Yeah.
I think it's good to send both of it to people so they have a choice. Some people will just open up their Zoom app and they're just going to type in the link and that's the ID. They'll type it in and enter the meeting that way. Some people will do that. They're not even going to look at the link. But most people are going to click on the link.
Sure. Thank you. I'm out of here. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
You're welcome. So any other questions? Hopefully this answered a lot of questions for you on how to do these meetings and set them up. All right. Well, we're kind of at the end, out of time
I have
here.
one more question
Uh-huh.
before you hang. You said we can get the copy of this recorded meeting in case we want to re-listen to it. How do you do that?
You just email help@getsetup.io.
Say it again, email what?
I'll put it in chat here. Help.
Thank you.
Let me put it in.
Can you do share screen briefly?
Yeah,
or is that
share a
long process?
screen.
Oh, good. Michael just put it in. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, okay. Let's do share screen real quick. You have a green share screen button on your toolbar.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a graphic right now so you can see this. Whatever device you use, you can share out pictures and different apps you have on your phone or your laptop. When you click that green share screen button, you'll be presented with your options. For example, this is what you would see on a laptop. You will have an ability to share out your entire screen. On the left side, upper left, you'll see share screen. Whiteboard, if you click on whiteboard in the middle here, that will share out a whiteboard where people can write on it. To the right of that, there's an iPhone, iPad right here. Let's say you have pictures on your iPad and you want to share those out. You could attach your iPad. You could attach it wirelessly or actually cable it into your laptop to share out your screen. And the other two rows, this is what's open at the time you went and clicked on that green share screen button. So let's say you're going to do a presentation in PowerPoint. Maybe that's all you're going to do in the meeting. Well, you would have PowerPoint open, ready to go. Click on your green share screen button, and then you will see PowerPoint. You could click on PowerPoint, click the share button in the right-hand corner of the screen, and then only PowerPoint is what they're going to see in the meeting. If you are hosting and you have a lot of things you're sharing, you're going to be going from PowerPoint to YouTube to Word. You're all over the place. You might want to just share out your entire screen in the upper left and move around that way. It really depends on what you're doing. If you are sharing out music, videos that have sound, just be aware that that's not normally shared out as a default in Zoom. A lot of people learn this the hard way. You have to check. There's two boxes in the lower left-hand corner, share computer sound and optimize screen sharing for video clip right here in the lower left-hand corner. Check both of these, and then the sound will pass from your laptop into the Zoom session. Otherwise, everyone's going to say, I can't hear anything. I know I do this myself all the time. Forget. But that's sharing out your screen. Hopefully that was helpful for everyone. We kind of ran out of time here. We do have other Zoom classes. You know, a lot of you have taken the beginner one. We do have an iPad, iPhone for beginners class. We have several classes. If you go to the website and hit the search button and just type in Zoom, there's a lot of Zoom sessions now. There's one about how to look like a superstar on Zoom. We talk about lighting and that type of thing. There's a class on creating your own backgrounds. There's another class on backgrounds, sharing screen, and annotation. There's an advanced Zoom class on breakout rooms and polling, and we talk some more about advanced sharing and annotations. And we have a new class. It's actually meeting tomorrow for the first time. It's Zoom host practice sessions. If you would like to practice a little share screen thing that you need to do or something like that, we will be your audience. And you can come in and practice something you want to, or if you just want us to make sure your sound is good, or if you just want to test something, you will have some people here to help you out, so you can get the jitters out of your system before you have to do that presentation or some meeting you have to do. We'll help you get that sorted out. So that's a new class. Come in and join if you'd like to. All right, everyone, I got to let you go. I know it's a little late. Sorry about that. Thank you for supporting Get Set Up, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Don.